Blog Talk Radio.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care Network. My name is Candace Gish, and I'm the host of this program. Well, thank you. We're really excited about today's program. I have an amazing new diva that we're going to be welcoming to our family. So a big shout-out to all of our amazing listeners that have been with us for 10 years. It's because of you that we've continued to do this program, and we're just so excited to have the opportunity to chat with amazing women from around the world, learning about who they are and the things that they are doing. If you want to listen to our program, you can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, and basically in any place that you listen to podcasts and interviews. So let's get started, everyone. Today's guest is Bailey Foster. And Bailey, I am just so excited that you took the time to be able to chat with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm so excited. My assistant, the amazing Joyce, had met you at the university, at Wichita State University, at an event, and she was telling me all about you and the things that you're doing. So I was excited when she said that you would like to come onto the program. But before we dive into the things that you guys chatted about, would you mind sharing a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am 26. I was born and raised here in Wichita, Kansas, and I was lucky enough to grow up on a farm and all of those things. And as I started to get older, women get periods, and I remember my very first one. It didn't even let me finish my farm chores for the day, and my mom was like, "Oh, that really sucks that you're just one of the unlucky ones." And at this point in my life, I had a fairly undercover eating disorder, so I wouldn't have a period anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months. So when I would have a period and it would be bad, it was like, well, you've been fine for the however many last month, you were fine this month. And it really wasn't until it interfered. I got over my eating disorder, and endo started interfering with my life in such a way that I started missing work on a regular basis, and that's we're at a point where my mom was like, okay, this is not normal. There's something that we need to do. And it was through this journey that I really found my passion. When I got to go back to school, I knew that I wanted to go back to higher education for marketing, for entrepreneurship, for women's studies, specifically to address a problem that I went through.
And I like that you're wanting to address this, because this is something that endometriosis is not something that a lot of people talk about. And I had a cousin of mine went through this, and it was many years before she was diagnosed with this. And, nobody really understood what she was going through. And it's amazing the stories that I've heard. And I always felt so absolutely bad for the things that she had to go through. And now you are on a mission right now to get this information out there, to get the conversations going so that people have a better understanding of what endometriosis is all about.
I do. I'm really passionate about it. I mean, the average diagnosis time delay is about 7 to 10 years. And when these women like me are finally diagnosed, they're led to believe that they're the only ones, that this is a very rare occurrence. Yep. And the fact of the matter is that it affects 1 in 10 women. So that's not rare at all. That's about 10 million women in the United States alone, and about 200 million women worldwide.
Oh, wow. And why do you think that people aren't wanting to talk about this? Why do you think that doctors are saying that to these women?
So a lot of it stems from the misinformation that doctors are taught in medical school. When endometriosis was first, the name for it was first founded in the super late 1800s, they created they determined that the pathology was via retrograde menstruation, and even though that has been proven false multiple times over, they still teach aspiring doctors that it is because of retrograde ministration and that it can be cured with pregnancy or a hysterectomy. But again, those have been proven false. The governing body of OBGYNs called ACOG has failed to change in how they inform their doctors of what endometriosis is. So that's like the first biggest reason. And then the doctors who do take that step to learn about like the actual pathology of endometriosis and how it acts and all of those things, it's really frustrating because there's not like a biomedical marker like there is for every other illness. So the only way to diagnose endometriosis is to go in and do a laparoscopy and physically look at it. So that can be really challenging for both the doctors and the patients. So once the patient is diagnosed, it brings on a whole nother set of challenges for the doctor because just about every other illness has either a pill, a regimen that works all across the board. And endo is not that way because of the way, depending on where the lesions are, depends on like what works and what doesn't for each patient, which means you have to treat each endometriosis patient on a per case basis, which is very exhausting for an OB who went to school to deliver babies.
Wow. Yes, and I can understand that. But you know what? The huge amount of women that do have it is absolutely crazy. So I think it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. And, you know, with our listenership here at the Divas That Care, we are listened to in 30 countries around the world. And I think this is a topic that needs to be addressed, not just in North America, but, you know, across the world, because women are being affected, and it's affecting not just themselves, but their families also.
Absolutely. It affects every part of your life, and especially those closest to you. They don't always understand why you can feel good one day and then not feel so good the other day, or why you have to cut out certain foods, or it's just a very involved disease that your entire life ends up revolving around, and it can be really frustrating having to miss out on birthdays, on events like Christmas, those kinds of things.
And you know what? One of the things that I want to address too is that for these women, you know, it's not in their heads, you know, having years of people telling them, oh, it's all in your head, just shake it off. You know, I think that it's really important to have women like yourself that now have you're working on towards a nonprofit that are like, no, this is a medical condition, and it's not, you know, it's just not you. And I think that part of it needs to be addressed, because I know so many women that were told that it's, you know, just, it's fine. You're going to be fine. You know, it's all in your head. And it always broke my heart once you found out like it wasn't in their head. It's a, as you were saying, it's a disease. It's a chronic thing that you have to manage.
Yeah, I have lost count of the amount of times that I have been told that it's in my head, that women have told me that they have been told that it's inside their head. There's a very big, what is the word, that, you know, women don't experience pain as bad as they say that they're experiencing it. And that is just false. Like, pain is pain at the end of the day. If anybody has ever been told that the pain is that they're making up the pain and that it's not that bad, one, you're not crazy. And two, stick to your gut. Like, you know your body best. And if you are having a medical provider tell you that, you need to find a new provider. That is the only way that we're going to start ending this taboo, is by not supporting the providers who do not support these women.
I love that. I want to thank you so much even for sharing that part of it. Okay, so let's dive into the nonprofit that you are starting. You have some amazing things that are transpiring in there. You've got a 5K I think it's a 5K walk that you're doing called the One Step Closer, and then you're going to be filing your 501 status. Can you share with our listeners a little bit about those?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about our One Step Closer 5K. While it is a 5K, Wichita is a really large running community. So for those who like to run, it is a 5K. For those who don't like to run, they are more than welcome to walk. We also have a shorter route option available. And this is not your typical 5K. It is a connectivity event. So the beginning and ending arch is actually in the vendor area. There's an interactive challenge along the course designed to help you meet and connect with other endo women. And then within the vendor area, there are, tables and chairs and places to continue to talk to those people that you met along the course. There will be vendors there who are in the health community who do want to help with endo, to start helping these women and those people in their life build that team of medical providers that they need to address. And it's really to start having this conversation about painful periods and all the other ways that endo affects your life and the entire body. And then
that's fantastic.
Thank you. Yes, and then with the funds that we raise from this event, we will be filing for a 501c3 status, which is basically just an official nonprofit with the IRS, which allows us to have a tax-exempt status. It allows us to give more companies who donate and sponsor us, they will get a larger tax break back and things along those lines.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. And that's great. You'll be able to get more sponsors that way too, which is fantastic.
Absolutely. Our goal is to get as much as the medical community, if not all of the medical community, starting here in Wichita, on board with the changes in endometriosis care that need to be made. The fact is that the gold standard of endometriosis care is an excision surgery, which requires a fellowship. And many of these places are out of network for most insurances, if you even have insurance. So before and after, this is a $20,000 to $50,000 surgery that sometimes insurance covers, most of the time does not. So the gold standard is not accessible to most of the population, let alone finding chiropractors or pelvic floor physical therapists who understand endometriosis and can help treat it effectively. You're looking at going to multiple different doctor visits and finding no solution, and you spend thousands of dollars a year just looking for some pain relief. And by getting all of these medical doctors on board, we can help cut down the maze of medical management that generally comes with endometriosis. With diabetes or Crohn's, you get diagnosed. The doctor's like, this is not my specialty, but there are resources. And then those patients are given those resources. Endometriosis patients deserve that same level of treatment.
I agree with you completely, 100%. And you have recently, you've started a Facebook page called the Endometriosis Resource Center. Can you share that with our listeners today?
Yeah, so this is our official nonprofit page, and we have a website coming soon. It's not quite up yet, and this is really where we share information that is circulating around the endometriosis community and information that is happening with our center, whether that's the One Step Closer, some of the initiatives that we are getting ready to launch, and starting with our monthly endo, kind of like a support group, but more effective. and those kinds of things. It's really to learn about everything that we're doing and what the endometriosis community is doing as a whole.
I love that. And for any of our listeners, I did share her page on our Divas That Care page, just so that you could check it out, because I think it's really important. As she was mentioned, the number of women that is affected by endometriosis, I knew that there was probably quite a few of our followers that would either be affected by this or would know somebody. So I think that it's something that would be very good for our tribe to know more about. So I want to thank you, Bailey, for doing that, because we want to learn as much as we can about it.
Absolutely. And if anybody has questions, we even wants to get involved in any capacity, we are always available via Messenger.
Fantastic. And, I know that you did mention that this has taken its toll on you also. So you did delay going back to school. So tell us what's next. How is school going for you? And, how much more do you have to do?
Yeah, so I will say after having to take a 3-year hiatus from school, it has been really nice to come back and finish my degree. I get to graduate next year. And along that lines, I will continue to be working on this nonprofit. And the idea is between today and around this time next year to launch the consulting initiative of this nonprofit, which is basically sitting down with women, starting with the Wichita area, and mapping out what has worked for them, what has not worked for them, medical providers that they have already gone to, so I can add that to my database, and then connecting them with medical providers who are already in my database, who have helped endometriosis patients in the past, who are familiar with it, and who have been vetted as somebody that will not waste your copay. And with that, we will create their personalized medical team and basically a portfolio. So when these women inevitably and unfortunately do go to the ER, I or one of my team members can meet them there and be their advocate that they are not a pain-seeking patient. They are a patient who is in an endo flare-up and in pain.
Oh, wow. I love what you are doing. I know, Bailey, you're working in the Wichita area, but is this something that you see that could go throughout the United States and into other parts of the world?
I really do, especially the consulting side and connecting women with accessible care in their area. Because like I said, the excision gold standard surgery is not very accessible, but maybe finding a physical therapist who can help break up that myofascial tissue, or a dietitian to work with, or different resources that are accessible, definitely has a national, if not worldwide, scaling potential. And I plan to make it as accessible to as big as I can possibly make it. Every person who is affected by endometriosis deserves to have accessible and manageable care.
I love it. I love your vision. I love your mission. And we want to support you with the Divas That Care. So we're going to be posting this information everywhere we can to help you get the word out. Bailey, how can our listeners get a hold of you if they want to learn more and if they want to be a part of this amazing journey that you're on?
Yeah, so they can definitely follow us on Facebook and Instagram. It's just Endometriosis Resource Center. Share as much as you possibly want on any of those pages. We are available to reach out on Messenger on both of those social media apps. And then you can also reach us via email at ictendoresourcecenter@gmail.com.
Thank you so much. And Bailey, one of the things I love to ask our divas, is there any last-minute things you'd love to share, any tips, tools for our listeners today?
I think the biggest tip and tool that I could share is to listen to your body. If you walk out of a medical provider's office not feeling right, follow that. don't be afraid to challenge your provider. They got a degree in a broad range of medical, whatever their medical degree is in, not a medical degree specifically in endometriosis. It is common for endometriosis patients to know more about endometriosis than their provider. And don't be afraid to challenge your provider or find a new one if the care that you are receiving is not adequate.
Perfect. I like that. And I definitely agree with that. And make sure that you go get even a second opinion, right? I think that's really important. A lot of people think that they can only go to one person, but sometimes we need to go to a few people in order to get what we need. So thank you so much, Bailey, for coming onto our program today and sharing about your journey and about your soon-to-be nonprofit, because I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
It was our pleasure, and we hope that you'll come back on the program and share again in the future.
Absolutely. I can't wait to have more updates to share.
Oh, that would be wonderful. And as I was mentioning, we will be posting all of Bailey's information on all of our social media so that you can check that out. And also, make sure that you take this call. All of our shows are recorded so that you can share with all of your friends and family. And you can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, Sketcher, and SoundCloud, and everywhere else you can listen to podcasts. So make sure that you do that. Again, thank you, Bailey. Thank you to our amazing listeners. I hope that each and every one of you has an amazing day and that you do something kind. Until next time, bye-bye for now.